All right,
We'll get
Yvonne, take
started.
it away.
Okay, starting the City of Philomath Park Advisory Board meeting at 5:30 on November 4th, 2025. And we'll do a roll call first. Scott.
Here.
Owen. Yasha. A new member is not here. And Candy.
Here.
And I'm here. And Tyler. Online.
Yes, I'm here.
And Larry is gone. Okay, I'd like to welcome Candy out as a new member.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to give a little, just a moment. Candy, if you want to say anything about why you are interested in the park board.
I think that I just, like, when as a child, like, I've been in the parks, grown up here in this town, and then my kids spent, all 5 of my kids in the parks, and then still now my grandkids in the parks. Just kind of a continuation of just always in the parks. Parks are pretty big for my family in this town, always in everyone.
Nice.
Didn't realize how many parks there actually was. Always thought there was just those 3, but there's quite more than that.
We'll learn more about that.
Obviously, I've learned that already.
Nice. Well, we're glad to have you here.
Okay. So do we have some public comments? Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Mike Vanderpoort. I actually own Van Cannon Sound. I do concerts for sound and lighting and all that stuff. So I'm kind of specifically here because of your sound and where you're trying to go with your concerts. I had a band at the end of the summer ask me, "Oh, can you come over? We're really excited about this." And I did sound for them, and everybody went, "Wow, that sounds great. It's just fantastic." And I go, "Well, that's how it's supposed to sound." So I've done this professionally for many, many years, but now I'm retired and I'm just doing it for fun and stuff. But I have a huge sound equipment, and I'd love to help you guys get to your goals. Like I said, I do the Corvallis Parks and Rec for all their concert series, and it's a lot bigger and things like that, but it doesn't always have to be big to make it sound good. And I just want to make sure, I love the environment, small town, outdoors. I'm a grandparent, and so it's neat to take my kids to stuff. And when I did the Parks and Rec at the end, yeah, I really enjoyed myself at this place. So
Nice. Yeah,
I
sorry I
would
missed
love
that.
to help you guys get farther down the road and even maybe weed through some of your bands that you have to deal with, which I may already know. And then it's, I do bands, semi-professionals out of Nashville and stuff like that, but they're very expensive, thousands. But you can go from hundreds to thousands, but I want to see you guys make it. So I'm kind of here I'll do whatever it takes to help you guys.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a business card?
I have Mike's contact info. I can share it but I can also share it with everyone.
Thank you.
And I think it's what might be valuable is as we're kind of looking to next year, we usually talk about, are there things that we want to ask for more budget for? Are there, growth of the program? So I think keeping services like this in mind might be something that you all would like to look at.
Definitely the wind can just tear the sound away
Sure.
in that park sometimes.
Yeah.
There's always big challenges, depending on where you're at and stuff. But usually the musicians and the bands, if you don't pay them very much, they don't have the money to buy the sound equipment that I can provide, or even the talent. They're musicians, not sound people. We're
Right.
sound people. I can do big concerts, takes 3 people on a trailer and everything, or do a very intimate small concerts, a little jazz, or just a couple of speakers. And that's pretty much what we did for that last band, and it sounds great. But I'm not looking to get rich or do anything like that. I'm looking to give back to my community and make it. The sound concerts in the parks are just a blast. Everybody seems to enjoy them in all of the cities I go to.
That's awesome. We appreciate
It's a
that.
blast. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll help you weed through some of them, because we have a lot of, not a lot, but there's a lot of what we call cover bands. And those are the ones you hear in the bars, and they all play the same 40 songs. All for 30 years. Some of them are pretty good, and some of them are not. But then we got a lot of different talent. We do jazz, and Joanne Bra is over in the city, and Chad Rupp, and Daddy Rabbit, and we did Ty Curtis over at the Twisting Tree. So there's a lot of good talent around. It's just a matter of how far you want to go and what you want to do. And you don't know what's going to pop up. It's your guys' show. All I can do is help advise you on what it takes to do it.
Well, it's nice to have the connections too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming, Mike, and we have your info, so we'll let you know if we make any strides either for this next year or come in the
Yeah,
future
or
for sure.
just advice and say, is this person crazy? I can tell you that. It's been 30 years. I've been around
Yeah,
a while.
okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.
Agreed.
Great.
Okay. Any changes on the minutes?
Didn't have any.
Me either. No. There needs to be a motion to approve the minutes. Okay. Second it. I guess. Get you.
Get me in there.
Okay,
I'm gonna repeat that for our recorder.
uh-huh.
So we have a motion by Scott and a second by Candy to approve the minutes of June 3rd, 2025.
Oh,
And now,
of June?
is that right? Oh, no, sorry. Of September 2nd, 2025. Scratch that. And now you can vote.
Oh, okay.
And call for a vote. Like all those in
All
favor.
those in favor say yes?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Well, passed 4. So, okay.
All right, and now we will move on to the business section. Chelsea, what have you got for us?
I do that because our city recorder is amazing and does the minutes and I don't have to. And so I try to get those little words in there for her. Hi, Crystal. Okay, so yeah, so we have a kind of a light agenda this evening, but wanted to talk about music in the park. And Candy, I don't know if you went to any of the music in the park events last year. You did go.
Not
to
the
some.
last one,
But you went to some?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you have that as input, and basically what we do is we kind of do a debrief at the end of the summer as we're getting geared up to open our band application process, which the whole program, we talked about this a lot last year, does take almost the whole year to plan and keep going and function. So yeah, what I'm looking for, there's a lot of words in here for folks, but what I'm looking for is just kind of this discussion portion down here, if we could go through and just get feedback, ideas for next year. And then we've also got some dates and schedule things to discuss. And
So we're
so,
on page 2.
yeah, we're on page 4 currently. Yeah, of the packet.
Oh, I was looking at minutes. Okay.
We talked about music in the park last time, as we do almost every month that we meet. But yeah, so if we go down to discussion, I just like to start with talking about attendance and participation. What I saw was generally kind of the same attendance. We don't have Dale there. He wasn't there this year to count our people and dogs, so that was kind of sad. We didn't have an accounting of all our people and dogs this
Oh, he was
year. I know, I forgot about that. It was like a great thing to deal with. And then just wanted to note the volunteerism. I think it worked a lot better this year. There was a lot more participation. Thank you to all of you for participating and feedback on the sign up process. It seemed like it worked well, but how are y'all feeling about like attendance and the being at the concerts, how that worked, any feedback that you have?
Yeah, it was good if you like music.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I thought, if you felt like it worked out, because I know I had to sign up for 1 or 2 and then I had to switch it.
Sure.
But if that worked out on your end,
Yeah.
it's good to have for sure 2 people there.
Yeah, and I thought the sign up worked well, and I think it's nice because it does kind of remind people you can go in and change it if you need to, and it alerts me if you do that. But also, like, you let me know, and I was able to go in there and switch it. So I think it works better than when we used to try to email a back and forth with people and figure it out. It works a lot better. Okay. So that seemed good. Seemed like our attendance was good.
Yeah, attendance, and if he wants to, I'm not sure if he was completely saying he would volunteer to give his time or not charge a lot.
Sure.
But to have somebody on sound like that would be really wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's something to talk about. I mean, I know obviously we've seen just trying to get a little motion on the band fees and getting that increased was kind of sluggish and took a little bit. So it may be something, there is a city councilor liaison for this board that I could talk to that city councilor. He's on he has a lot of liaison roles, honestly, and he just got on the council this year. But I'll talk to him and see if he's interested in maybe coming to our December, January meeting. Just because I think it might be good for a council member to hear those things from you if you would like that growth and have a council member who's at the meetings kind of advocating for budget committee and such. So I'll try to engage with him about particularly when we start talking about projects that you want to suggest, and we usually do that kind of in January. So, yeah, I'll talk to
Because he
him.
sounded like he was more interested in giving, wanted to give back to the community. He's had all this experience and he enjoys it. So to have
Right.
a sound person where the bands didn't have to come and worry about it, because bands are so varied in what they've got in the way of sound.
Yeah.
And then,
I think some of it, he wasn't aware that we've had this program going on for as long as we have. So some of it I think was, oh, I want to help you get going. It's like, well, we've been going for a long time. But I think over time we probably want things to grow. But keep it Philomath, I mean, I think there is something we've talked about that and just keeping it primarily, that's what we're focused on, right? Is for the people that are here and that it would take a budget. I don't think that, we have a public procurement process to go through. We usually cannot just say, oh, even a discount, you just want to do this. We have to open it up for others who have similar businesses to be able to submit. So,
like say, this is our budget.
yeah, so it's great to have someone and have that in mind, and I think that's very valuable, but we'd probably have to look into that if we were going to look at those options. Okay, so performers. You mentioned it was great being there if you liked the band. I think the band genres were fairly diverse this year. I went to the last concert and they were like great. The sound was great, but the band was very engaging. Just a lot of good feedback. People really liked the music. They were very good.
Blood on the Cloud?
They're like a John Cougar Mellencamp cover band.
Oh, nice.
So it was a lot of fun. They were a very fun band. Good way to close out the season. And then, yeah, if there were any concerts that you went to, just feedback on the quality or if you felt like there was a good diversity of music, or any other performance related feedback that you have.
I like diversity, where there's different genres for sure. I think that's a nice thing to focus on when we are choosing bands. So,
Yeah, and I think you've done a good job of trying to do that, and definitely Owen, that was really helpful, just kind of structuring things for you all last year, I think.
yeah, that was very nice.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, I don't think I went to as many this year as last year, so.
okay, okay. And how'd you,
They're good?
like good?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Candy?
I only went to a couple. I mean, one was I really couldn't hear because it was really windy. The sound was.
Okay,
I mean, you could hear
Yeah.
him if you knew the song, of course. Like
Sure.
you knew what it was doing, but if you didn't, then no.
okay,
I mean, there were some people from out of town. They were like, oh, out of town, like the Kings Valley and stuff. And they were talking to other people, just like, oh, is there food trucks here? They were asking other people. I knew there wasn't, so I said no.
Sure.
But I mean,
yeah,
they were just asking other questions and stuff like, oh, can we bring our own alcohol? They were just asking,
okay.
asking around other people.
okay. Yeah, we definitely
I only
do.
went to two.
Okay, we definitely do have more out of town people that come. And honestly, they're not, I found a lot of people are not coming from like Corvallis necessarily. They are coming from some of
Yeah,
the
it's like Project
outlying
Kings Valley
areas.
type thing, yeah.
Okay. So maybe we could increase kind of our messaging about what's there.
Yeah.
We are supposed to have food at every concert. I wasn't at all the concerts, so I don't know if we had food at every concert. We're supposed to have Sundays,
At what point they ran
pizza.
out.
The pizza.
Oh, the burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
To gauge how many people were gonna come and how much food to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Well, and I mean, the alcohol question is a good question because, like, if you go to a bigger venue, like you go to Corvallis, their concerts are a lot bigger. They have a lot of food vendors. They have usually like a
Alcohol
beer garden
vendors and everything,
situation.
yeah.
It's a different type of event. So yeah, maybe we need to kind of up our marketing if we are starting to get people looking at it from further away, just because some of our messaging is very geared toward, you're in Philomath, right? We go to the concerts all the time. We know what's going on there, but it sounds like maybe we're getting more people from outside and
I did see people like parking their cars and then opening the back of their cars and sitting by their cars with their chairs, drinking wine,
Oh,
group
interesting.
and stuff. But
Yeah.
that was like in the parking lot, so
Sure.
technically not the park.
yeah. Well, I mean,
But they
it
were
is the
like-
park. I mean, if the police officers come,
Yeah,
through, it's a
yeah,
park,
but that's,
so-
I mean, that's what they were, I mean, they were
That's-
just a group of them.
Yes.
I mean, they were doing their, I just say it wasn't my thing, to say
Right.
anything.
But it might be. I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah,
We can't keep
yeah.
them from doing it. But it might be a good idea just to make that clear to people.
Yeah.
Like, you do have to have a alcohol permit to
Yeah,
have alcohol. Just FYI. Okay, that's good feedback. Thanks. Okay, so community feedback. That was kind of some of what you were talking about, Candy. Maybe there are some things I had heard, which highlighting food availability at each event. Again, I think talking about food availability, like how is everyone feeling about the current structure? So currently, the Lions comes and they do kind of keep a low cost meal. It's the Lions that helps them get out their causes and be there at the park. So they've been there Wednesdays, and then Mud Oven Pizza's been there Sundays. I think that the event is pretty small, so I'm not sure even if we said, oh, are there other food vendors that want to come? I don't know, there's enough people to support more than one food vendor. I don't know if it would make it for them, but I don't know how you're all feeling about vendors and such.
Have you spoken with the pizza, what's the name of it?
Mud Oven Pizza.
Mud Oven Pizza, have you spoken with them about how much they've sold or?
I haven't, but I could check in with them and see how they felt like the summer went. Yeah.
I think I agree with the size we are. I don't know, 2 food trucks might not be,
Right.
or might be too much, because they do want to sell a certain amount to make it worth their while.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I can check in with both the Lions and Mud Oven and see how they felt like it went, how they're feeling about next year. Okay. It's a good idea. Okay. Sponsorships. So, Pioneer Connect was our series sponsor again last year. They did, I think, up their donation last year, so which helps us increase our band, the payments that we have available for bands. So that was really generous and good. And we had a couple other of the smaller sponsors. The Chamber of Commerce hosted the last concert, so they didn't pay for the band, but they did bring a lot of food. Actually, they brought food, which was free for everyone. And I haven't followed up with them. I will follow up with them to see if they want to do that again. I know I did see chamber members there, people that I don't usually see at concerts, but I usually see at chamber events. So I think some of their members did come to it, but I'll check in with them and see how they felt it went.
Yeah, and how did they, so they gave food away. Yeah, it'd be nice to know how they feel about it. Were you there, Scott, at the last one? Okay. Tyler, were you at the last one?
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Larry might have been there.
Did people partake of the food and did they seem to enjoy having them there?
Yeah, I think, again, the band was really good, and the sound was really good. So I will say that that was just a good sound experience. The thing that I found was most people didn't know the food was free. So the chamber advertised it, we advertised it, but a lot of people, they see chamber, they're not like thinking, I don't know if they made the connection. So I was trying to go around and tell people, hey, there's free food. There's free food. Do you want food? There's free food. So I did go around several times and try to let people know. And once people kind of picked up on it, they were excited and really did enjoy it. They had a really good spread there. They were doing like hot dogs and they had watermelon and cookies and all kinds of stuff. They had a good spread. So yeah, I can check in with them, see how they felt about it, see if it is something that they want to do again. I think it could use better messaging. I think that even though we're trying to keep it local and Philomath, we may need to look at how we're getting the word out. I'm not sure. I don't feel like that event was as well attended as I thought it would be. That's just my
The
feedback.
Corvallis Chamber of Commerce would probably advertise it
Yeah, they probably would.
for us because you
Yeah.
can go online. I've done it with my events and you just fill out a
Yep.
thing and they put it
Sure.
on their site or something.
Yeah. I think the other thing, and we'll talk about dates, may have been that it was in September. So that might have been some of the attendance issue. But okay,
Maybe a couple of free food signs, so
maybe. Yeah. Okay. So we talked a little bit about sound quality. Parking seems to still be going okay. I mean, it does get busy there, especially if there's something going on at the school. But it still seems like we're okay. I don't think we're outgrowing that yet, you know. Okay. Oh, power. We had some power issues with the nice sound equipment that came. That was fun. So I was glad that I was there because that was a little dicey for a while. So I have asked Public Works to look at that. Like, let's spend some time looking at it. Let's make sure that we think that there's adequate power there. If there's not, we need to look at, are we gonna do a project to kind of upgrade the power that's out there? Or what are we gonna do? And lighting, so that concert was in September. Larry had also mentioned that the concert before, the last concert in August, was also dark at the end. I actually brought some little lights from my house to plug in for the band. And I was glad that I did because it got all the way dark. So they were using that light essentially up on the stage. And then when they were unloading, when they were done, they kind of needed that light. So we did have some issues with the lighting, with the dates that we had and the times that we had the concerts, just at the end of the summer. I will, maybe this is a good time to mention, I don't know. The city manager, Chris Workman, had mentioned just this like kind of random brainstorm idea that Skirvin Park, which is a park, as we know, it's not city park, but is park, does have a stage and a whole area that potentially, I haven't talked to the Frolic folks at all, but potentially, is that something that we might want to look at for growth? Is it an idea? I don't know that we're like, let's do it next year, but it is an idea because where we're at now, it's such a great area because it has the playground, which is nice. There are a lot of people that play with their kids there. I think it's very well suited. It's kind of our little, community park. People come from, they're over doing something at the school. They hear the music, they walk over, and so it does have that very community sense there. But the Frolic grounds have an actual stage with actual lighting and actual sound, electricity to plug in sound. So,
And people bring their own seating anyway, because it's a big cement slab.
it's, yeah, some of it is. It's kind of cement / dirt. I mean, it depends on where you are in there. But it's something that he threw out there as a potential. So I don't know. I mean, you've been out there, you've done some events out there. It would be a very different feel. So while it could still be music in the park, it would be a different
The
feel. So,
grass at the park is nice for kids. They can romp around on the
Right.
grass. And
yeah. So anyway, that was thrown out there as a potential idea. I think that, yeah, again, staff and volunteers, I think we're good with making things run. I didn't hear anything negative that was a big problem or anything, so I think that was good.
so if you're asking about the power at the gazebo,
Mhm.
maybe it could use some lighting too.
Yeah, and I mean, there's challenges with that because anything that you put in a park is subject to vandalism and theft. So that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have lighting there. So if we have a band that's playing until 8 at the very end of August or in September, it's going to be pretty dark by the time they're packing up.
Have we gone to September before?
No, we switched it this year to try to get away from the weather issues from June. So we were starting
Because of heat or
rain.
Is
It
it
pretty much always rained for the first
half?
1 or 2 concerts, and that's why we tried to push it out. Okay, so let's see. I am ready to just kind of follow that process we talked about last year. I think it opens band applications in December, and then we would just put it on our agenda to review unless anyone had an issue with that last year. I thought it worked really well last year. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then sponsorship. I haven't reached out to our previous sponsors yet. It seems like most of the time we're ending up with our series sponsor coming back, which is great. I would be surprised if they didn't want to do that again for next year. Our band level sponsors they've shifted around quite a bit, but we have been able to help get some additional funding in with them as well. So I thought last year went pretty well. I gave you all a letter that you could give to people if you knew someone who might be interested. Are you okay doing that again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Tyler? Are you good with that? No, okay. Okay, so we'll do that again. And then I will reach out to, unless I'll look and see who we have on there from last year. If someone has a particular connection, I'll let you reach out. I'll just talk to you about it. But otherwise, I can just reach out to folks that we had last year and see if they're interested again.
Yeah, I'd like to know who they are. Be reminded about that when we go over it. Maybe.
Okay, we had, I don't know if my brain's gonna work. We had swing time, for mature dancers. That was Seth's dance company, Seth that was on the board. We had Good Earth Pest last year. And we had one other that's escaping me, and I'm sorry, but I have it written all over, and we've given thank yous to everyone. So we had 3. I'm pretty sure that we had 3 last year. Yeah. Okay, so I would like to talk schedule. So if we did the schedule that we did last year, this is not including the kickoff from the high school and middle school because that's really dependent on their schedule, and I'll be reaching out to them. And then could also use your help with that, but I'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
That went really well last year. So we'll reach out to them and obviously give them the option on what dates work for them in May and if they're still able to do that. And I think last year went well, and I think they felt like they had momentum to keep it going, and I think it just worked a lot better for them. They felt less pressured, and it was good for us to, you know, kind of go to them and say, what works for you? We want to make this work for you. So I think they appreciated that. This schedule that's here would follow what we did this year. Again, we did have that the issue of that concert in September was pretty dark. And maybe wasn't as well attended. You know, it was a thing we tried. It was a trial. I don't think it was poorly attended by any means. I can't say that it was like any more people. It was maybe a little bit less people than would have been in the August Wednesday concert.
Was it just one date in September then?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
So we basically shifted our 6 concerts just out a week. So we used to have one at the beginning of June, which on the last page, that's kind of what we had before, where we did early June, June, July, August, 2 concerts each. The other reality is that we could just not have a June concert and just lessen how many concerts we have overall. When we did that data and looked at it last year, we do have more concerts than, like, I think we were the highest of any of the other cities that I looked at that were kind of smaller doing program like us. So we had the most concerts. And then you add on the school concert, which is an additional concert. So how are y'all feeling about
The other
that?
thing I'm thinking is that maybe the September one was on weekend,
Mm-hmm,
so weekday.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we had tried to switch to a more consistent schedule that made more sense because we used to have, it was like the third Thursday and the last Sunday of the month. And so when you had 5 weeks in a month, it was, people were confused about it. It was hard for them to remember. So I think that was our first thing, was trying to get a very steady, like, you always know in the summer, if it's the second Wednesday, there's music in the park. So I think that worked well. I think, you know, I don't know that I heard feedback about it, but I didn't hear anything negative about switching to Wednesdays. So that was good because we switched from Thursdays. You know, so yeah, I would really like your feedback. I think your guidance on, do you think a recommendation to go back to how, like, keep it how we were last year, where we went into that September? But again, I don't know that we needed that. Honestly, I feel like we could have ended it, like kept that schedule and ended it at that August concert, and it would have been a great finale.
I agree, especially because there's a May concert with the
Mhm.
schools.
Yeah,
And then if you have 5 beyond that, otherwise there's 7. So I think it would be okay to cut out the September one.
and just keep
Yeah.
one less concert in the season.
I
I mean, we
agree.
can go back to do the earlier June one, but like I said, we more often than not, it was dicey.
Mhm.
And what we were getting was feedback from bands, right? Because that area is not protected. And so you may be able to get people to come out and say, we'll sit in the rain, but the bands were
Yeah,
like,
they can't.
we can't
Their hands
play, we
get
have to
wet,
stop, we
their
have,
feet get wet.
right. Okay, well, then I'll give the feedback to some other people about that, but I think I think that's good. It's still a lot of concerts, and it does allow us to focus a little bit more on, you know, those concerts. It allows more focus. It spreads us less thin, I think, if we did that. So, yeah. And I did note that June 10th is Philomath Academy graduation, which is not a deal breaker necessarily. It's a much smaller class of students, but that would kind of eliminate that conflict as well.
And September is pretty crazy that athletics in the schools are starting and.
Yep. And I think that was part of it, was there were a lot of athletics going on, and it was like parents were, well, I can't go to that. I have to go to whatever. So, okay. Well, that's good feedback. Is there anything else anyone wants to share? Ideas, things that they want to try? Any other feedback, music and park related? No? Okay. I mean, we talked through pretty much everything, but, okay, well, guess we're done with that agenda item. You all?
Okay. What is next here? So informational, we're done with business.
Mhm.
Board updates. Time for members to share park and recreation related updates, not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything?
I don't. Nope. Not this time.
Nothing exciting going on? How about you, Yvonne?
The dances at the Grange are fantastic. We had 106 people there Monday. I mean, we've got around 100 on average. So every Monday night, there's line and swing dancing at Mary's River Grange.
I've seen it online.
Yeah, oh, good. And then there's going to be a special dance that we're doing December 6th. There, competitions and things. So the gal who runs it is fantastic.
Nice.
No sing-along this year. It's just not working out too. The people that help are just too busy and too many conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Well, that's too bad, but, maybe next year, sometimes when you skip a year.
maybe. Bluegrass is going once a month still,
Yeah.
the second Wednesday. That's moving along, so.
Nice. Okay. All right, anything else? Tyler, you good?
I think I wanted to ask you because I think you'll have the answer. I think that my term ends this year. Is that next month my last meeting in this seat? Or that
Yes, we think that too. I did ask the city recorder today to go back. I think it's both of your
Yeah.
seats, Scott and Tyler. I asked her to go back and make sure because we did have a little bit of history discrepancy for Larry's seat where we thought his seat was up and it wasn't actually. We got that sorted out, but I did ask her to go back and double check because I
If-
can't remember if you were appointed full terms or not.
Right, and if we were both, would next month be our last meeting, or is it January? What's the term?
It's
you know?
December 31st is the
Okay.
end of the term. And then Crystal, our city recorder, will send out email to everyone on the boards and committees who has terms that are coming up and invite everyone to apply again. And then if you, at that time, know that you're not going to apply, we just ask that you respond to her and let her know that you're not going to apply. So we're not pestering you or waiting. So she'll send that out soon. Yeah. And hopefully you all do reapply because I like having you on the board.
I've liked being on the board, and my wife is in nursing school, and we have a 3-month-old and a toddler, and it's like a lot
Yep.
going on right now too. So
Yeah.
we'll think about it, but
Right.
I think I'm already coming to terms with the term.
Yeah. Well, I just said that today actually to our recorder that a lot has changed for you since you got on the park board. A lot. Life is much busier.
Putting it mildly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple staff updates. The park exercise equipment has been ordered, so it won't be put in until next year when it kind of dries out at City Park, but we have ordered it. So that was exciting. We were able to get that additional piece, I think that we talked about, so we got a lot of equipment coming. That's gonna be really cool, to have added City Park.
It's gonna be right on the left when you first come in.
Yes, yeah. So that's exciting. And then I also wanted to mention, we have a Philomath 2050 visioning project that's coming up. I haven't talked to the city manager specifically about it, but it did occur to me that some of the discussions are related, well, they're related around parks, facilities, needs of other organizations in the community, what people want to see in 2050, how we can make Philomath a better place in the future. So that'll be launched soon, but we might at the very least talk about that as for any feedback that you might all have that you want to give to the folks that are going to be running that process. We're going to be hiring an outside consultant. The city is finding funding for it, but it's a community project. It's not a city project. We're just kind of helping facilitate it and get it going. But I will talk to the city manager about that to see what kind of feedback he thinks would be valuable from the park board. Just need to write myself a note.
A skate park. That's what I want to see by 2050. I
There you
want a
go. That
completion.
is definitely on the list. It's hanging out there for sure.
Is there any updates on that? Have we had anything about funding? Or are we still in the same limbo waiting for a grant of some kind?
Yeah, so we don't have funding currently, and then we also put a pin in it to go through this visioning process. Because part of the intent of the visioning process is to find the needs and wants of kind of all of the organizations, and help each other out in, not competing. So essentially, if the community says, we really want a senior center, we need a senior center, this is our priority, we've gone through this visioning process, everyone has put that at the top of the list. Well, let's say that the same funding opportunities are available for senior center and skate park. And we're going to be conflicting against whatever organization is going to build the senior center. And now all of a sudden we're kind of doing a disservice to the community. It's kind of the same as if you have to go out for bonds, you try not to say, well, let's the city and the fire and the school all go out for a bond the same year, right? Like it doesn't serve the community very well to do things like that. So that's part of the conversation, is to get all of those wants and needs out there, and just get feedback about how we prioritize that. Are they similar? Can some of them happen standalone? Do some of them relate to each other and kind of need more support than others? So yeah, it's going to be a big conversation, and hopefully there's some good data that comes out of it, and I think it'll be a fun process for people to participate in. So we're pretty excited about it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have update on that. Any other projects? No, I think we're in good shape unless there's something else that you all could think of you want to ask me.
I
No?
don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's board and staff updates then.
Okay, so next meeting, December 2nd.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about Parks and Trails Master Plan again.
Yeah, so I printed out the master plan for you. It's also online for anyone who wants to find online under parks on our website. What I'd like to suggest for next time, so we've done a review at the end of the year, every year since I've been here, where we go through the projects that are in there and we say, what do we want to recommend to the council for your strategic plan? They did change their strategic plan process last year. They still have projects on there. I'd still like you to look through the projects and suggest things, or, I'd still like to go through that, but we haven't really been through the Parks and Trails Master Plan in its entirety. We haven't gone through there and looked at, what are the goals? Where are we at? What do we think? It is, so typically, cities that are able to stay on top of updating plans, master plans, do that around every 5 years. It kind of depends on the plan. This plan is coming up on its 5th year. So I think it would be valuable to go through and see what we think. Do we think this plan is still good for a while? Do we think, because it costs time and money, and do we feel like there's still enough things in there to work on and achieve that it is good to just keep it for maybe another couple of years? Or do we want to recommend getting another update here probably in like 2026, 27? So that's what I propose. So a work session, instead of us putting it in the meeting with a bunch of other agenda items, which we've done in the past, we would just talk about Parks and Trails Master Plan. So the expectation would be that you all kind of can go through that, and look at it, highlight anything that you think is, you'd like to talk about, discuss, and then we'll kind of, we won't, go through it tediously, but we'll kind of go through the sections, get some discussion input on where you think we're at, what you like and don't like, if you think that we need to update or not, and then we'll look at those projects. So that's my proposal for the December meeting. And,
Sounds good.
okay, good. I think it's important, sometimes the park board is asked, what do we do here? Like, what's our meaty role? What do we do? And this is one of the things that you do. Is that project was, heavily inputted by the park board members. And even though none of you were on the board when we did that, it is still a document that, is very valuable for you to know and understand and, have input on. So, okay, well, we'll just plan for that, and I don't have anything else. unless
Okay.
Anyone else does?
Anybody else have anything? Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting then.
At 6:17 p.m. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for your kid
Tyler.
being patient too.
Yeah,
Right.
he was testing it at the end there. Yeah.
All right, good night.